guys, it's Stock Curry, and in today's video we're going to talk about why the markets unexpectedly were green on Friday, what that means for the rest of this week, and I've got 9 stock picks for you and a cryptocurrency update. So let's get into it! Okay, first of all, let's talk about why the markets were unexpectedly green on Friday. On Friday, Merck came out and let us know that they released a pill that cuts the risk of hospitalization and death by 50% for unvaccinated people who get infected with COVID. The fact that this is in a pill format makes it very easy for doctors to prescribe without having to go through the process of setting up an IV or an injection. Pills are also transported much easier, meaning this could potentially help to quickly reduce the impact of the pandemic worldwide. Now, I want to be clear that this was a one-day event and that the overall direction of the markets remains in a downtrend. Also, while we do have the spending bill that was temporarily passed that will prevent a government shutdown until December 3rd, that could come up again, and we could see what we got last year, where last year we had a correction in September and then another correction in October. What we could see is this year we have a correction in September and a second correction in November as the government shutdown looms once again. So that's a possibility. We'll have to keep our eyes out for that. The two things that could turn the markets around, get us out of the downtrend and get us going back up in the right direction again would be either a passage of the infrastructure bill. Again, that would be temporary. It will help the markets for a day or two. But the real thing that we really need in order to get going upward is going to be a passage of the appropriations bill. That is the bill that will actually allow the debt limit in the United States to increase, which will help us pay our bills and avert major financial crisis here in the United States. Now, nobody thinks we're really going to hit that major financial crisis, but the real risk is what happened in August of 2011 when we got this close to running out of money before we increased the debt limit. We actually increased the debt limit 3 days before the United States ran out of money. Regardless, the S&P came out and downgraded the credit rating of the United States. And so that's going to be the fear once again, is that if we get really, really close, which it looks like we will, that the S&P might downgrade the credit rating of the United States. And so that's mainly what's putting a lot of the downward pressure on the stock market at this time. Okay, I want to get into our cryptocurrency update as well as the 11 stock picks to talk about. So let's get into those. For those of you guys who are new to this channel, my name is Stock Curry. I used to work as an analyst for some large investment banks, and now I analyze stock picks on YouTube. Every day I watch hours and hours and hours of YouTube videos, and then I combine all of the stock picks from the top YouTubers and I put them together into a single video. I give you both the cliff notes on what they said as well as my analysis on their stock picks. Now, if anything I talk about today piques your interest, make sure you listen to who I say talked about that stock and then go watch their video to get the full details on what they said. Now, all I ask for putting all of this together for you guys is that you hit that like button, subscribe, and follow the page so that you can get notified when I release my next video. In fact, I'll give you 5 seconds to do that right now. Alright, before we get into our stock picks, I just want to remind you that I am not a financial advisor. Nothing I talk about today is a recommendation to buy, sell, or hold. These are just my opinions, which may or may not be accurate. Please do your own research before investing in any assets. If you're wondering what you're looking at right now, this is the Webull desktop app. Webull is the app that I use for my trading, and it is also the app that I use in all of my videos. If you'd like to get 2 free stocks worth up to $2,300, you can sign up for Webull using my link in the description below. When you sign up using my link in the description below and deposit just $100, Webull is going to send you 2 free stocks worth up to $2,300. Now, taking a look at the markets, we can see that the Hang Seng is down about 2% right now. Evergrande actually got halted in Hong Kong. The other Asian markets are up a little bit. We'll have to see how the European markets do. Right now, the US futures are down just a little bit, about 0.1%. Even though the markets rose on Friday, they are still below the 10-day EMA, which means the chart is still bearish. I still believe that we're going to get down to the 200-day EMA at around $412 on SPY, but we'll have to see what happens. If the infrastructure bill comes out, or especially if the appropriations bill comes out, then we could rise back up. You know I'm heavily invested on the short side on the stock market. I have a lot of put options on SPY and QQQ. I will let you know that if we end up getting above the 10-day EMA, I'll probably close out of those positions. And then I'm holding, and if we get down to the 200-day EMA, I will close out of those as well. Historically, these stock markets are going to be red for the next 3 weeks. However, I personally believe we're only going to be red through about October 15th, and then we're going to go up after that, after the appropriations bill is passed. Okay, that's enough of the market prediction. Let's get into today's stock and crypto picks. First up is BTC. This is Bitcoin. ZipTrader talked about how cryptocurrencies across the board have been running up over the weekend. Bitcoin looks poised to retest the $50,000 level, and Ethereum is well above $3,300 and rising. And Tezos, ticker symbol XTZ, is at almost $9, which is a new 52-week high. So despite some short-term negative news coming out of China, the fundamentals for cryptocurrency continue to get stronger, and cryptocurrencies have proven quite resilient to negative news. Some YouTubers mentioned possibly opening positions on MARA and RIOT to take advantage of the new rise in cryptocurrencies. Now, taking a look at Cardano, which is ticker ADA, StockMo showed us how ADA did not perform as well as a lot of the other cryptocurrencies this past weekend. ADA failed to stay above the 21-day EMA, and it's still below its medium-term trend line. The MACD did just form a golden cross though, so despite Sunday's pullback, ADA remains bullish short-term. And now on to our stock picks, and first up is ABNB. This is Airbnb. ZipTrader let us know that ABNB has been on quite an uptrend since its lows in July. Further, ZipTrader said that the rise has been fundamental based. ABNB has already cleared the initial IPO stage where it's quite volatile and nobody's really sure what's going to happen, and now it appears to have great upward momentum. ABNB should report its best numbers during the summer. Q2 numbers, which were from the spring, beat expectations and were nearly to pre-pandemic levels. ZipTrader expects the Q3 numbers from this past summer to be excellent. Further, ZipTrader said that while travel has picked up for American citizens, foreigners are still restricted from traveling to the United States. Once the Biden administration lifts the travel ban, that should bring an influx of international travelers to the United States, which should be really good for ABNB. Next up is CEI. This is Camber Energy. CEI has been running up like crazy over the past month due to heavy retail buying. On Saturday, Keen and Grace discussed the possibility that CEI could start dropping in price. CEI does have options, so you might want to consider a put option if you think CEI might go down in price. Keen and Grace said he would wait for CEI to drop below $2.85 before buying puts though, because that would be a strong indicator that CEI is going to crash back down. Next up is CHPT. This is ChargePoint. They're the largest charging station company in North America with more than 70% of the total market share, and they are also starting to expand globally. Keen and Grace discussed the fact that a director at ChargePoint just sold $4.6 million worth of CHPT. And as we can see here on Tip Ranks, this was an informative sell, which means it was not tied to a pay structure. CHPT dropped over 3% on Friday on that news, and now it's sitting at critical support level of $19.31. I had said earlier that I would load up on CHPT if it got down this low. I'm actually going to wait a little while longer to make sure it doesn't crash through that level first, because all indicators are still bearish, and I don't want to try and catch a falling knife. The next support level is all the way down at $17. And of course, I would much rather pay $17 than $19 if it's possible. Next up is LCID. This is Lucid Group, and they're an American EV manufacturer. Keen and Grace talked about LCID and some of the news articles that have come out recently. He talked about how volatile LCID has been lately. LCID has been moving 3 to 8% each day, up or down, depending upon if the news is positive or negative for that day. We've had some news praising LCID for starting production and other news warning investors about the potential of a share dilution through share offerings. We also have analysts giving price targets, some low, some high. And that's why you're seeing all of this wild action on the stock price. Technically, the candles remain bullish, but both the RSI and MACD are dropping, which is bearish. So while I remain long-term bullish on LCID, I will reiterate that LCID remains a gamble in the short term. Next up is NIO. This is NIO, and they're a Chinese EV manufacturer. ZipTrader let us know that NIO reported over 10,000 vehicles delivered in September, which is a massive increase from the 5,800 vehicles they delivered in August. NIO also announced that 4 million battery swaps have now been completed. All of this points to a strong and growing EV market in China. Now, ZipTrader did acknowledge the Chinese FUD and the risks of investing in Chinese companies that must be considered. But he also mentioned how investing in companies that have favor from the Chinese government can lower your risk, and NIO is one of those companies that has a lot of favor from the Chinese government. Now, technically, I will let you know that NIO has held very strong support at $35. It refuses to go below $35. That said, the candles remain bearish with all of the candles below all of the EMAs. However, with NIO reporting good delivery numbers over the weekend, that might get us a green close above the candles and could cause NIO to start rebounding and going back up. Next up is NKE. This is Nike. Chris Zane said he plans to load up on NKE now that it is down over 9% over the past month. NKE has been hit by supply chain issues, and Chris Zane thinks NKE has come down low enough to buy in. Technically, NKE is at the 100-day EMA, which is the point where it normally bounces. It is also oversold on the RSI last week and bounced, and the MACD histogram is rising as well. So we do have a lot of indicators that NKE has bottomed out and might start going back up. We still do not have any confirmation though. Confirmation would be once the candles start closing above the 10-day EMA and the MACD forms a golden cross. Despite the lack of confirmation, I agree with Chris saying that now would be a great time to start dollar cost averaging into NKE. And next up is NVDA. This is NVDA. Chris Zane listed NVDA as a growth stock new investors might want to consider adding to their portfolios. Chris Zane said NVDA has been struggling due to the semiconductor shortage and supply chain issues. NVDA is down 8% over the past month. Over the past few weeks, NVDA has been trading with the overall market, so I would wait for this market correction to be over before buying into NVDA. I think the best time to buy in will be in about 2 weeks once the appropriations bill has been passed. And next up is PROG. This is Progenity. ZipTrader let us know that momentum has been building on PROG. This is a stock that is picking up interest from retail traders, and it is a short squeeze play with a 55% short interest. You might want to get PROG on your watch list for a potential run-up like we saw on ATER, BBIG, CEI, and others. Next up is TSLA. This is Tesla, and they're an American EV manufacturer. Jeremy with Financial Education let us know that TSLA topped delivery expectations. Tesla delivered 241,300 vehicles versus estimates of 220,900 vehicles. That's about 10% higher than expected. It should be noted that these are worldwide deliveries, and TSLA does not break out deliveries by region. Now, what's fascinating is that EVs require 3 to 5 times more semiconductor chips than traditional vehicles. And while all of the other car manufacturers are complaining about deliveries being lower due to the chip shortage, Tesla's over here beating delivery expectations. Both Larry Jones and ZipTrader talked about how that just shows the innovation and leadership of Tesla versus traditional vehicle manufacturers who are stuck in their ways and struggling to innovate. Jeremy with Financial Education also let us know that Chamath just sold his entire TSLA position. Chamath said he used the funds to buy Bitcoin. And next up is VTI. This is a Vanguard Total Stock Market ETF. Chris Zane recommended new investors consider adding VTI to their portfolios. VTI is an ETF that does a good job of covering the entire stock market. This is a great ETF to give you full diversification across a variety of industries without having to manage your portfolio and hand select companies. And last up is VUG. This is the Vanguard Growth ETF. Christine recommended VUG for people who are new to the stock market and just getting started building a portfolio. VUG is a portfolio of growth stocks and it's down over 5% over the past month. That is a great discount to buy in at. I also recommend that new investors start with ETFs to grow their portfolios, and I agree with Chris saying that VUG is one of the best ETFs out there for new investors to buy into. Another high growth portfolio you might want to consider is ARK Invest Innovation ETF, ticker symbol ARKK. And by the way, on all of these ETFs, they are going to follow the overall market, so you might want to wait about 2 weeks for the market correction to finish before buying in. Alright, I hope you enjoyed this video and got a lot out of it. Comment down below what you think the stock market is going to do this week. If you think it's going to be red or green or what's going to happen, let me know in the comments below. And if you're looking for a broker to trade with, you can sign up for Webull using my link in the description below. When you sign up for Webull using my link in the description below and deposit just $100, Webull's going to send you 2 free stocks worth up to $2,300. Now, if you're not a US resident, or if you want to trade OTC penny stocks, or if you just don't like payment for order flow, then you can sign up for Interactive Brokers. Interactive Brokers is a great trading platform. They have highly discounted trading throughout the entire world. Trades start at just $1 US, $1 Canadian dollar, 4 euros, or 6 Australian dollars, depending upon where you live. And both Webull and Interactive Brokers both offer the full pre-market and after hours trading from 4 a.m. until 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Now, I do have material connections with both of those, so whenever you sign up for either broker, not only are you getting a great broker to trade with, you're also helping me to continue to produce these great videos for you. Now, finally, I want to remind you to hit that like button, subscribe, and follow the page if you haven't already. And if you're on YouTube, go ahead and click the bell icon and click all as well. I hope you have a lot of success trading, and I will see you tomorrow.